Welcome to class with Mr. Ike. Today I will be handling NECO chemistry practical questions specifically on salt analysis. But before I start, I would like to show you the reagents for today's salt tests. In this container is sample C, so we are going to carry tests on sample C. Now in this container is barium chloride solution, my dilute hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution. At this point, I would like us to look at the observation table and carry out the test that is written here. Now the first instruction here says we should add 5 cm³ of distilled water to C and shake thoroughly. After shaking, we divide the solution into 2 portions. So I'm going to add sample C to 5 cm³ of distilled water. So this is my sample C. And this salt is always unstable to heat. It decomposes easily on heating to produce ammonia gas. So that is one of the characteristics. So I have my sample C. So I'll add 5 cm³ of distilled water as instructed and shake thoroughly. And remember, whenever you are asked to add water to a salt sample, they simply want to test for the solubility of the salt. So I've added 5 cm³ of distilled water to sample C and to shake thoroughly. Obviously, you can see that C is very soluble in water. So what will be my observation? Alright, C dissolves completely in water. And my conclusion will be that C is a soluble compound on salt. Alright. Now we have to divide the salt solution into 2 portions. So I have the solution divided into 2 portions. And to the first portion, we have to add sodium hydroxide solution. So I'm taking everything to the heating source where I will heat the solution. So I'm taking everything to the heating source where I will heat the solution. So I need to light my gas. Okay, now be a little bit patient. Okay, so I'm going to add my sodium hydroxide solution. I've added my sodium hydroxide solution. So, followed by what? Heat. Followed by heat. So, at this point, I would like to use my boiling tube to my boiling tube. So, I'm now heat. So, as I'm heating, I'll just need to dip my stirring rod in my dilute hydrochloric acid to carry out the tests. I say that you dip a stirring rod into dilute HCl and bring it close to the gas that is giving off from the boiling tube. So there's a gas that's coming out, and that gas I need to bring it close to my nose, sweep it. Remember, you don't put your nose inside the boiling tube to perceive, you just sweep close to your nose So there is a gas with a choking smell. So there's a gas coming out from the boiling tube and it has a choking smell. Okay, I just need to bring my glass rod close to the gas that is coming out. Okay, you can see what is happening now. There's a dense white film produced. There's a dense white film produced. Alright, so what will be my observation? So going back to the table, what will be my observation and my possible conclusion? So when I heated a salt solution, a gas with a choking smell was involved. A gas with a choking smell was involved. And that gas is possibly ammonia gas. Ammonia gas present. Ammonia gas present. Alright, or you can say ammonia gas from ammonium ion. It's better to put it this way, ammonia gas from ammonium ion. Okay, now remember that when we dipped our stirring rod inside the dilute hydrochloric acid, we saw a dense white film when it came in contact with the gas that was coming out from the boiling tube. So the gas, we have written that the gas that came out of the tube was ammonia gas. Okay, now ammonia gas now reacting with the dilute hydrochloric acid obviously is ammonium chloride, a dense white film, was formed. A dense white film was formed. So this is another confirmatory test for ammonia gas, because it is only ammonia gas that can produce a dense white film with dilute hydrochloric acid. Okay, let's go to the next test we have here on the board. It says to the second portion, add drops of barium chloride solution. Add drops of barium chloride solution. So this is my barium chloride. So I want you to observe closely. So you add drops of barium chloride solution. You can see I have a white precipitate. I have a white precipitate. So my under observation, I'm going to write white precipitate formed. White precipitate formed. White precipitate formed. So now whenever you get white precipitate on addition of barium chloride, there are 3 possible ions that could be suspected in solution. One is sulfate ion. The second one is thiosulfate 4 ion. And the third one is thiazocarbonate 4 ion. Now to distinguish these 3 ions in solution, we need to go to the next test, which tells us to add dilute hydrochloric acid. So we add dilute hydrochloric acid and the precipitate dissolves. What it implies is that sulfate ion is absent and these 2 are probably what? Present. But if I add dilute hydrochloric acid and the PPT fails to dissolve, it obviously means that this ion, which is tetraoxosulfate ion, is present and these 2 are absent. So I'm going to proceed to adding my dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is my dilute hydrochloric acid. I want you to observe closely. So when I add my dilute hydrochloric acid, okay, you can see there's an effervescence and the gas, a colorless, odorless gas is coming out of the test tube. So what will be our possible observation and then inference. So that a colorless, odorless gas, effervescence occur, and a colorless and odorless gas was evolved. So now that we know that the precipitate is no more, it has dissolved, obviously this ion, which is sulfate ion, is absent. So we are going to make our judgment using these two ions, which is triisosulfate 4 ion and triiosocarbonate 4 ion. Now, two of them will produce two gases. If this ion, which is triisosulfate 4, is the one present, it's going to give us a gas that smells like burning matches, and that is sulfur dioxide. But that wasn't what we observed. We saw a colorless, odorless gas, which means that it is carbon dioxide, which is coming from the triiosocarbonate 4 ion. So we say carbon dioxide is the gas from where? From the triiosocarbonate 4 ion. Alright, so that's how to present your results for the just concluded NECO Chemistry Practicals 2021. I hope to also post my video on the titration experiment involving sodium hydrogen triiosocarbonate 4 and sodium hydroxide. So thank you for listening. God bless you.